do we have news about Donna Adelson yet? She apparently has been transferred elsewhere. Last Friday, people were tweeting about it and reporting about Donna Adelson. Let's see if Court TV said anything. Dan Markell murder. Jail policy change prompts Donna Adelson relocation. Adelson has long complained about her treatment at the Leon County Detention Facility, alleging cruel and unusual punishment. Donna Adelson was transferred from Leon County Detention Facility, where she has long complained about her treatment. Yeah, she was complaining about how she has like sciatica. It's not really comfortable for her to be sleeping on the mattress that they have. And she was trying to get a double mattress. I don't think she ended up getting a double mattress. She said that the hours are horrible because she has to take medication at certain times and that she doesn't really get sleep because she has to wake up to take the medication. Not only that, it's really loud and she can't sleep. And her ears, she has a condition where her canals are really like tiny and the earwax builds up a lot. So when the guards are talking to her, they keep thinking she's trying to ignore them when in reality, she says there's so much earwax in there that I can't hear. And she needs to have a special ENT doctor to come in and like flush out her delicate little ears. And there's abundance of other issues that she was complaining about. But those are just a few that I remember from the top of my head. Aaron says, suck it, Donna. Suck it. But, you know, it seemed like Donna was also... we had a whole hearing about how Donna said that she was being threatened by other inmates and how they forced Donna to buy commissary and some shit like that. I don't know if, you know, people believe it. For me, I'm like on the fence. I'm not really quite sure. Now, they put Donna into what's kind of like a isolated situation where she has her own cell. She doesn't have to mingle with other inmates. And now she has time to look at her paperwork and stuff like that without worrying about people looking over her shoulders. And then she has like more quiet time to herself. But yeah, she's still not happy. Adelson, who was charged with the 2014 murder for hire of Florida State University law professor Dan Markell, was moved to her new digs behind bars on June 6th. Shonda Knight, a Leon County Sheriff's Office spokeswoman, said Adelson's lawyers requested the transfer last week after the policy change went into the effect. What's the policy change? Under the old policy, inmates in administrative custody, which includes solitary protective custody, which is what Donna Adelson was in, had unfettered access to tablets in their cells 24 hours a day. That was taken away under the new policy. Oh, I see. Okay. Her access was taken away, which is when her attorney made a request to have her relocated. Once her attorney made the request to have her relocated, we did evaluate and determine it was best interest of all parties to relocate her to Wakulla County. Where the fuck is that? Leon County and then Wakulla County. Oh, it's not that bad. Leon County is like northeast of Tallahassee. And then Wakulla County is about like a 50-minute drive south. But it's very generic where I put it in. I just put Wakulla County. So, like within like an hour or so. Oh, I see a Taco Bell there. Taco Bell. Leon Sheriff's spokesperson, inmates abusing the policy. Knight said the sheriff's office, which runs the jail, made the shift in jail protocol because we had individuals who were abusing the policy. We were running to an issue where we had limited space because so many people were using the policy to be in a space by themselves versus being in general population. Oh, so the incentive was removed. Oh, I got it. So it's like, well, people were purposely trying to get into the solitary confinement because they had 24 hours unfettered access to the tablet. So it seems like they were purposely trying to get in there just so they had tablet access. Okay. Since the challenge, about half of the 50 to 70 inmates who were in administrative custody elected to go back to general population. Yeah, because they have nothing else to do. It's like, okay, well, if I don't have 24/7 access to the tablet, fuck else am I going to do? It's a rough way to spend your 24 hours in, solitary confinement. She added that no other lawyers asked for transfers after the policy change and no other inmates have been moved. Knight said that all the inmates at the detention facility have the ability to speak with their attorneys and that even without access to the tablet, Adelson could still communicate with her attorneys via phone call and personal visitation. Yeah, but then the phone calls are probably like structured in a way where, hey, I have to make a phone call. I have to go outside of my cell. I have to like be at the phone booth. And then the phone booth is probably is it like 15-minute increments or some shit like that? And then personal visitation, probably harder to see someone in person, and then go through all the jail security. So it's probably a lot easier to communicate with someone with the tablet. There was 2 documents that I downloaded for Donna Adelson. There were 2 witnesses that she wanted to have to exclude their testimony for trial. One of them was a former best friend of Wendi Adelson, her daughter, which people were still giving the side eye because people are like, huh, Wendi. Is Wendi involved? Did Wendi know that her family was going to try to murder Dan Markel? Was Wendi involved in the orchestration of it? Or was she just a sideline person? Did she not know anything at all? Was it all her family? Was she controlled by her family? Lots of questions about Wendi Adelson family. Motion in limine. So we have Sarah Youssef and we have Stephen Webster, which is a friend of Dan Markel. All right, y'all. So defendant's motion in limine. Testimony of Sarah Youssef. Donna Adelson requests this honorable court exclude Sarah Youssef as a trial witness. Here are the reasons why. So Donna, again, we all know that she has been charged with 1 count of first-degree murder. We have 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and 1 count of solicitation of first-degree murder. Because, again, it wasn't Donna that tried to kill Dan Markel herself. Donna was working with her son, Charlie, and they hired 2 hitmen through Catherine McBanoa, who was sort of maybe Charlie's bang buddy girlfriend. And so they weren't trying to murder Dan Markel themselves, but they were to have, they wanted to have other people do it for them, do all the dirty deed for them. Now, however, at least the hitmen, they didn't drive their own personal vehicle to murder Dan Markel. They rented the car, but it was still under their name and stuff like that. But I still find it so interesting that Lori Vallow and her brother were like, hey, just use Tylee's car, drive the Jeep down, and here you go. Try to murder Brendan Boudreaux. Anyways, who is Sarah Youssef? Sarah Youssef has been listed as by the prosecution as a material witness in this case. Sarah is also a former, I thought I said best friend. I'm sorry, I must be having some false memory stuff. Sarah is a former close friend, not best friend, of Mrs. Adelson's daughter, Wendi Adelson. Sarah and Wendi first met when they were students at University of Miami School of Law in 2003. Damn, over 20 years ago. Wow. What were you guys doing in 2003? According to Sarah, her friendship with Wendi was very close. So again, they're referencing the deposition lines. I wish I had the deposition, but I don't. Be kind of cool to read it. Sarah and Wendi were friends for about 13 years. During this time, Sarah knew Mrs. Adelson because she was the mother of her close friend, Wendi. Because of Sarah and Wendi's friendship, Sarah has been to Thanksgiving at the Adelsons' home on a few occasions and have been to their residence for different holidays and events. Sarah said that she was aware it was a highly contentious divorce and further testified that Wendi emailed her some of the motions that Dan filed. Sarah described a birthday party she attended for Wendi's eldest son, which was held at Wendi's parents' condo in 2014, shortly after Dan's murder. I think at that point, Wendi's eldest son would have been 5 years old, I think. Weren't the kids like 3 and 5 when Dan was murdered? Something like that. It was at this party that Sarah obtained the only information she has regarding Donna Adelson. According to Sarah, while at the party, she overheard Donna say, "They're talking about him like he was a beloved professor. But you know something? He was a jerk." Yeah, I can see Donna saying something like that. Dan Markel just died. Donna doesn't give a fuck. Sarah thought what Donna said was abnormal because Dan had just died. And in most cultures, we don't speak ill about the dead. In Sarah's opinion, Donna's statement conveyed an outsized and inappropriate anger considering that Dan, would never bother anyone again. Yeah, because at that point, Dan was dead, murdered. Beyond that statement, Sarah had no other testimony relating to Donna Adelson and that she could offer. Sarah ended her friendship with Wendi in 2017. I wonder why Sarah ended her relationship with Wendi. I wonder if she was like, Wendi, I don't know, man. There's some shady shit with your family. And are you involved, Wendi? Like, I can't be friends with you. Or is it because of something else? When asked if she had to come to the conclusion that Donna was guilty or Adelsons in general were guilty of doing something, Sarah thought they were guilty of conspiring to commit murder of Dan Markel. Sarah clarified that it was not all the Adelsons, but that Donna, Charlie, and Wendi were guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and soliciting somebody to kill Dan. I'm really interested to see why she thinks Wendi is also involved. It's not mentioned in this document here. Maybe in the state's reply, they will include it, but I want to know why Sarah thinks that her close friend, was also involved in trying to murder Dan. Oh, was it 3 and 4? Oh, sorry. I was 13, 14. You were 15 years old back in 2003. Shitting my diapers. I was still 3 years old. Hashtag 2000s baby. Oh my God, what a baby. The new Predator movie. Oh, thank you. Let me add it then. It's on Hulu. It's really good. It's animated. It's like some same kind of animation as the Arcane League of Legends show. I haven't seen the League of Legends show yet. I heard it's really good though. Yeah, thank you. I'll add that to my list. You know what I watched recently? Yo, the fucking original Hellraiser from like 1989 or something. It's so good. It's so good. I feel like it was so ahead of its time. It was so gory. I thought they did a pretty good job with the monsters and like all the crazy shit. Like, I think they did such a good job for back in like the 80s. Oh man, the original Hellraiser. I fucking loved it. All right, back to the document. When asked how she became a witness in this case, Sarah said that after the last trial, she saw Phil Markel's victim impact statement. Again, Phil Markel is Dan Markel's father, and it brought her to tears. She also explained that the amount of time he talked about the grandparents' alienation and not having a meaningful relationship with the children made her feel really awful. Yeah, because Wendi, Donna, the family, they were not letting Dan Markel's parents have a relationship with Wendi and Dan's children. I think initially they were trying to play nice, and at some point they completely just like cut off Dan Markel's side of the family. And not only that, they dropped Dan Markel's last name, and there wasn't there like a middle name that the children took after, one of the child took after, that had to do with Dan Markel's like family member or something like that they may have dropped. I feel like I like vaguely remember that. You guys correct me. I was just 100 years back in 2003. Yeah, Rand's a fucking vampire. Okay, we got Edward Cullen up in here. Because of this, Sarah contacted the Markel's attorney and provided him with information she had about the grandparent visitation legislation. Sarah said nothing happened for a couple months, but then Markel's attorney contacted her and told her that he was going to give her name to the prosecutor, Georgia Kappelman. Sarah said she did this because she wanted to help the Markels. All right, do we want to hear the argument? Yeah, let's just hear it. Let's see what they have to say. All right. Legal analysis. Sarah uses testimony and Mrs. Adelson's trial should be excluded for the following reasons. They're probably just, I think it was like all like hearsay stuff. Relevance. Pursuant to Florida Evidence Code, relevant evidence is defined as evidence tending to prove or disprove a material fact. 22. Here, the only relevant testimony that Ms. Yusuf can offer regarding Mrs. Adelson is the statement that Donna made to her about Dan Markel being a jerk. As evidence in the deposition Ms. Yusuf gave on August 23rd, 2024, and that was like a year ago, she testified that other than that single statement about Dan Markel being a jerk, she had no other admissible testimony that she could offer about Donna. While the statement may be admissible, the rest of Ms. Yusuf's anticipated testimony, including her opinion concerning Mrs. Adelson's guilt, would be inadmissible at trial. So I guess like if Donna testifies, right, which she might because Charlie testified, Donna might be like, oh, I had nothing against Dan Markel. We were really sad that Dan Markel passed away afterwards. Maybe they would have this witness to basically say that like, oh, no, you were talking shit about him afterwards. What are you talking about, Donna? So I don't know if they could use that against her. I was trying to read about this and I got really confused. Like the whole hearsay rules are confusing. My brain was like, pow. All right, admissibility. Even the court finds evidence relevant, it can be made inadmissible if it is probative value is substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice, confusion of the issues, misleading the jury, or needless presentation of cumulative evidence. Here, the anticipated testimony of Ms. Yusuf about Ms. Wendi Adelson is inadmissible because its probative value would substantially outweigh the danger of unfair prejudice to Ms. Adelson. Mrs. Adelson, sorry. Ms. Yusuf testified to her depot that she felt sorry for Phil Markel after listening to his victim impact statement. This shows bias on the part of Ms. Yusuf towards Phil Markel. Such evidence can be excluded by the court if its probative value is substantially outweighed by the unfair prejudice. So they're saying that, Ms. Yusuf is biased towards Phil Markel because she felt bad when he gave his victim impact statement, but I'm sure it was compelling. You have a son that was murdered and their parents are grieving, and the parents don't have any contact with the grandchildren at all. All right, hearsay in Florida. Hearsay is an out-of-court statement introduced at trial that is made by someone other than the declarant to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Also, except as provided by statute, hearsay evidence is inadmissible. Most of Ms. Yusuf's anticipated testimony would be inadmissible hearsay because, she heard one of the statements from Donna's mouth directly, but everything else she may have heard just through Wendi. Because the defense expects the state to call Wendi Adelson at the witness during trial, and much of Ms. Yusuf's deposition testimony consisted primarily of things that Wendi Adelson had told her, Wendi would be better witness to relay what she did say to Ms. Yusuf. Well, I wonder if Wendi is going to be honest and truthful about that. Additionally, testimony from both Ms. Yusuf and Wendi Adelson would be the needless presentation of cumulative evidence under 90.403 Florida statute. Lack of personal knowledge. Again, yeah, because she didn't really know this personally. It seems like she was getting a lot of information from Wendi, and Wendi was giving her updates about the divorce proceedings. According to 90.604, witnesses must have personal knowledge about that which they testify. Most of Ms. Yusuf's deposition testimony is about events to which she has had no personal knowledge. Based on her depo testimony, the limited personal knowledge she had about Dan and Wendy's marriage came from several divorce pleadings that Wendi sent her to read. I would love to see these emails, though, because I'm sure it's not just forwarding motions to her friend. I'm sure she was adding some context in there, too. I would love to see these emails. Ms. Yusuf also had personal knowledge of Phil Markel's victim impact statement because she watched it. Finally, Ms. Yusuf had personal knowledge of the conversation with Phil Markel's attorneys because she was a participant in the conversations. Overall, Ms. Yusuf has limited personal knowledge about which she can testify at trial. So again, they want to exclude her as a trial witness. And then lastly, this one's even short. It's only 3 pages, but let's read it. So here's another witness that Donna Adelson is asking the judge to exclude as well. This is a testimony of Stephen Webster. Defendant Donna Adelson, by and through her undersigned counsel and pursuant to sections 90.403, 90.701, and 90.803 Florida statutes, requests that this honorable court exclude the testimony of Stephen Webster, and in support thereof states as follows. 1. Mrs. Adelson has been indicted. Again, we know 1 count first-degree murder, 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and 1 count of solicitation of first-degree murder. Attorney Stephen Webster, so Stephen Webster is an attorney, has previously testified in Charles Adelson's trial and is listed as a witness for this trial, this case. Wait, did I watch his testimony? I don't think so then. Stephen Webster testified in Charlie's trial. No, we didn't watch because the ones that I watched with you guys was Wendy's ex-boyfriend. Oof. And then Wendy's testimony, Charlie's testimony, and anyone else? Those are the 3 that I remember watching with you guys from Charlie Adelson's trial. Because, man, I didn't get to stream the Charlie Adelson trial with you guys because I had COVID for the first time. And it was like fucking brutal, dude. I was like dying. Horrible. But we watched it after the fact with you guys like a couple weeks later. By this motion, Mrs. Adelson moves to exclude Stephen Webster as a witness. I wonder what emails were used in her son's trial for Charlie Adelson's trial. What emails did they read? They were reading them emails, and the emails that Donna, the emails that were coming from Donna were pretty bad. But now that this trial is centered around Donna, oh man, we're going to get so much more Donna Adelson emails. I can't wait for them to go over the evidence. All right, so discussion. The threshold question for admission of evidence is relevance. Mr. Webster did not become involved in post-dissolution litigation until May 2014, filing a motion for substitution of counsel on June 13, 2014. It was docketed June 16. The order granting substitution was signed on June 20th, 2014. So I'm assuming Mr. Webster was like a friend and also an attorney for Dan Markel, and he became involved after the dissolution litigation. According to his testimony in Charles Adelson's trial and his depo in this case on August 30th, 2024, Webster met with Mr. Markel in May 2014, the day after reading the pleadings he was asked to review. Mr. Webster's testimony centers on what Mr. Markel said to him about the post-dissolution proceedings, including that Mr. Markel said that he heard Mrs. Adelson say, "Stupid is on the line." That's so funny to call Dan Markel stupid. From what I've heard about Dan Markel, he was absolutely nowhere even close to even being stupid. And the fact that Donna Adelson, the best comeback that she had against Dan Markel was calling him stupid, I don't know. I feel like it really says a lot about Donna Adelson. After March 26, 2014, counter motion was filed. So it seems like Dan Markel told Stephen Webster that, yeah, Mrs. Adelson said, "Stupid is on the phone." I feel like this also aligns to what Donna Adelson was saying to the grandchildren as well, basically talking shit about their father in front of these like very young 3 and 4-year-old children. Donna doesn't care. Donna doesn't give a fuck. Mr. Webster also offers his opinion on the strength of Mr. Markel's claims and his opinion about the involvement of the Adelson family in Mr. Markel's death, his continued advocacy for the family, Markel family vis-a-vis, participating in podcasts, interviews with the media concerning Mr. Markel's love for his children, and providing commentary about this case, or about the case. To the extent the state intends to elicit from Mr. Webster's statements made to him by Mr. Markell, such testimony is hearsay for which there is no exception. I didn't watch the Charlie Adelson trial where this guy was testifying, so I don't know what else there was. I'll just wait for the state to reply to this. Honey Badger grandma, don't give a fuck. Hey, honey badgers are pretty base though, okay? I don't know if I would categorize honey badgers and Donna in the same category, all right? Donna wishes she was a honey badger. She fucking wishes, all right? You know, Donna's one of those insufferable people who just talk shit about everyone they know. Donna just seems like the type of person where, you know that advice that they give people where it's like, hate is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die or some shit like that. I don't know. Maybe someone needs to give Donna that advice. Number 10, to the extent the state intends to elicit from Mr. Webster his opinions about the strength of Mr. Markell's pleadings, Webster is not an expert in family law. Even if he were a family law expert, no foundation for his opinion had been established. Absent being able to lay such foundation, the court should prohibit him from offering an opinion about the strength of Mr. Markell's post-dissolution filings. Mr. Webster's opinions on Adelson's involvement in Mr. Markell's death are also inadmissible. Holding a witness opinion about the guilt or innocence of the accused is inadmissible. Wherefore, the defendant, Donna Adelson, respectfully requests that this honorable court grants this motion in limine, entering an order excluding Stephen Webster from testifying during her trial. Who knows when that trial is going to happen? Actually, no, I do know. I'm sorry. They rescheduled it for, right now it's going to clash with Brian Koberger's trial, although Brian Koberger's attorneys, they put in a motion to continue. So hopefully it doesn't clash with each other. I like it when it's not clash. I like it when it's like, you know, each trial has their own time frame. So that's it for Donna Adelson. These are 2 motion in limines that she put in to exclude 2 testimonies. And I'll wait to see what the state's reply is. Although I haven't checked the website in a little bit. Let me check to see. Motion limine. Yeah, nothing really right now. Okay, so for Donna Adelson, we are going to have a hearing in about it's this week actually, Wednesday. Is Donna Adelson the one where we get the footage slate? I don't remember. I think so, right? I don't think it's live. Okay, so we have 2 hearings for Donna Adelson this week, one on Wednesday and one on Friday. So we'll definitely be waiting for that.